Hey folks, I am Val, and today I'll walk you through how to set up a full dev environment for Okta and Terraform automation from scratch. If you're trying to automate your SSO, SCIM, or internal SaaS onboarding process, this is the perfect starting point. We're going to spin up a Terraform project, connect to an Okta dev instance, and deploy our first app config. Let's dive right in. Next, we'll set up our Okta Dev account. First, go to developer.okta.com and sign up for a free developer account. I've already signed up for an account, but this is what the sign up form looks like. So go ahead and click the Okta Integrator free plan for developers, which is what I had selected. Form is pretty straightforward, just your first name, last name. They require an email that's not Gmail, so proton.me. Anything with a sort of custom domain would work in terms of a work email. So once you do that, you'll get an email to activate your account. And then once you activate your account, you'll log into your Okta sandbox, which is perfect because it'll allow you to test without messing up any production environments you may have. Take note of your domain. It'll look something like https dash dev, or in my case, integrator dash a bunch of numbers .okta.com, etc., etc. That's what Terraform will use later. So let's go ahead and log in now. And then if you did this with security in mind, you will have 2FA enabled. So we'll go ahead and look for the code in our Okta Verify app. Okay, 417229. Okay. Once you've logged in, let's create an API token. In my case, I've already created an API token, but what you would do is go to the security. Okay, next, we are going to create an API token. And to do in the Okta admin dashboard is go to the security tab on the left-hand column, scroll down to API, then click on tokens, and then from there give your token a name. I gave mine the name Okta Agent API, something straightforward. But you can call yours anything, Terraform Agent Dev, whatever you wish. Then once you've created the token, go ahead and copy the token somewhere safe because you won't be able to see it again. And one more thing to remember regarding the API, this is the API key that we'll be using with Terraform. So we will securely store it in a variable, which we'll touch on later. Now let's prep our local dev environment. I'm on a Mac, so let's install Terraform using Homebrew. With brew install Terraform. For those who don't know, brew is a package manager and it just makes things easier when installing packages. So let's go ahead and install that now. Brew install Terraform. As you can see here, something is happening. Okay, and we'll also want to install Git. I've already installed Git, so for us here, we have a Git version 2.45.2, and we're also going to want to install Python if we plan to build a CLI or an automation agent. In our case, we're building an automation agent, so we'll want to install Python. So Python should already be installed. And to check your Python version, all you need to do is type Python 3 dash dash version, and that should return whatever version you are using. And now let's go ahead and create a directory called Okta SSO agents, or in my case, I'll go ahead and use a name called Okta Terraform.test for the purposes of this demo. And inside this directory, go ahead and add a few base files, mainly ones called main.tf, outputs.tf, and variables.tf, as well as a .env file as an option to hold secrets during development. Okay, we will now configure the Okta provider in Terraform. In the main.tf file, we define the provider version. We define the provider version, set the Okta org name, and plug in our API token either directly or using variables. And as you can see here, we are using variables, and that information is stored inside the variables.tf file as well as a terraform.tf vars file. So, as you'll see here, we have a variable called Okta org name, as well as a variable called Okta API token. Next, we are going to add a simple app config. And as you see here, I am using an OAuth 2.0 web app as an example. You can define the label as you please, or as you wish, or as you need to. And here, I've defined the label as Poker Trivia Agent for kicks. And you can also define redirect URIs. And here, I've redirected the URI to a local callback, and you can also grant types rights in the HCL. Feels like I'm babbling, but once everything is set, go ahead and run Terraform init to initialize the project directory for Terraform. And as you can see here, it's been successfully initialized. Next, we'll go ahead and punch in Terraform plan to see if anything needs to be captured, if any changes need to be captured. And as you can see here, no changes have been made as of recent. And in the event that something is changed, we'll go ahead and run Terraform apply. Let's see what happens if we do that now. Well, since no changes have been made, nothing is applied. Makes sense. Alrighty, on to the next step. As you can see here, the Poker Trivia Agent OAuth 2.0 app is showing here under our apps. And just to see this magic happen, we'll go ahead and create another app. Let's go ahead and pivot back to VS Code. Okay, back here on VS Code, all we're going to do is copy and paste this block of code and just change some of the values. So let's go ahead and do that now. Copy, paste. We'll go ahead and rename this maybe accounting agent. We'll go ahead and give it a different localhost callback. Let's go ahead and save it. Now once we save that, Terraform should be able to pick that up. So we'll just go ahead and run Terraform plan. Oh, let's see. Duplicates resource configuration. Okay, so we can't have another resource called example app. So we'll go ahead and change that to example app 1. We'll go ahead and save that now. And let's go ahead and run Terraform plan again. And that should detect those changes, as you'll see here. Plan 1 to add. So all we're doing is adding a resource. So another WAF 2 app. And once we're happy with the plan, we can run Terraform apply. And once we do that, go ahead and enter yes to proceed. So once the changes have been applied, we can pivot back to our Okta dashboard, and the new app called Accounting Agent should appear. So let's go ahead and go back there now. Okay, here we are back at our Okta admin dashboard. As you can see here, we only have the Poker Trivia Agent app, and if we refresh our page, the Accounting Agent should appear as well. So let's go ahead and do that now. And there we go. The Accounting Agent app is at the top of our list. Looks good. On to the next step.